Hey everyone, we're building towards the Sagittarius lunar eclipse on June 5th. And this is the first of 3 eclipses. And that is not typical. Usually we have pairs of eclipses. And now we have a trio of eclipses. So the next 6 weeks, we are going to be in eclipse season. And that's highly unusual. Now, Sagittarius, it's one of my favorite signs because it's so inspirational. Sagittarius is about freedom and speaking your truth, living large, and empowering your spirit. Now, we have had a lot of crazy stuff going on between the COVID-19 and now here in the States, we have protests that have turned violent, which is just crazy. And, one of the things that keeps coming to me is just how people are in pain everywhere. So many people are in pain. And, here in the States, people, we have the history of slavery. And so Black Americans have, there's 2 Americas, and they have every right to be out on the streets speaking their truth, and they're nonviolent. It's others that have come in and kind of hijacked their cause who are causing all the trouble. And people were commenting on my Facebook page from Minneapolis and Minnesota, and they were saying that 80% of the people causing the damage don't live there. They're not from Minnesota. They don't live in the state. And so this is really weird what is happening right now, that so many people are coming in and using the situation to invoke violence. Now, with the fabulous moon in Sagittarius, it is being opposed by the sun in Gemini. So that's what a full moon is the moon is opposing the sun. There's a powerful T-square, if I could speak, there's a powerful T-square with Mars and Pisces to both lights, the sun and the moon. Mars is the warrior. In Pisces, he's the emotional warrior. So we're seeing kind of like this war behavior happening in our major cities. And this is very significant. Now, there's a Neptune effect here too, because Neptune is coupled with Mars, and he's also part of a T-square. Now, Mars is exactly T-squaring the moon and the sun. But as the moon moves forward, it's going to meet Neptune exactly as well as the sun. And the sun will exactly square Neptune on the 11th of June. So Neptune rules illusion and delusion. Oh, lovely. It rules spirituality and creativity too. It does have a positive. And so what's happening is, this is how we can see that, the truth is getting covered by this disruption, and that some of these people here, 80% of these people that are coming in doing the violence, they are not part of the peaceful protests that people, Black Americans and white Americans, that feel the need for racial and social justice. So there's a cry for justice, and that is absolutely right on the money, that we need justice. This is why things are breaking down. Things are breaking down. The government's breaking down. The police system absolutely has to be changed, because it doesn't represent all of the people that live in the states. And America is about freedom. America is about your rights as a human being, your right to pursue happiness, your right to free speech. And the majority of us want that for everyone. And we need our systems to work for the majority of us. So people in pain are crying out. And then we have this COVID-19 going on. And we have people that are sick and people that have been pushed out of their jobs. We have people in food lines. It's like every day you wake up and you say, is this really happening? Is this, is this really, where we are right now? And so we are in this breakdown to breakthrough process. Now, there is good news out here because yesterday I watched, and I'm sure many of you watched too, the SpaceX launch, which was so inspirational and so Sagittarius, because Sagittarius rules far off places. Sagittarius is about going as far as you can. And it was successful and beautiful. And it's the first launch that we've had in 9 years. It's a new beginning. And it was so uplifting, and it showed humanity at its best and its brightest. And Mercury is sextile Uranus. So there are opportunities for all of us here if we're willing to innovate, if we're willing to think out of the box, if we're willing to try new things. Opportunities are here for all of us. Now, I know some people say, oh my gosh, all the money we spend on this when we need to be feeding our people. I know. But we also need to have dreams, and we also need to have inspiration, and we need to have something to look forward to and to look up to. And there will be new technology that comes from space travel and using and taking advantage of the moon and its resources for us. So it's very exciting, and it is wonderful to see positive news in the world, good news in the world, and it's out there. That doesn't dismiss the challenges that we are experiencing at this time. Now, this energy is very interesting because on the one hand, it can be very inspirational and uplifting. On the other, we have to be really careful and listen to our intuition. Also, when you're out and if you're in a large city, you want to pay attention to your environment, because with people going off the rails like that, that can happen anywhere at any time. And you always want to make sure that you're safe and taking good care of you. And that's really important, to be practicing extreme self-care right now and making sure that you are strong in your body, strong in your mind, strong in your spirit, and keeping the negativity at a distance so that it's not overtaking your world. With the mutable signs like this, Gemini, communication, speaking, writing, teaching. Gemini is about having multiple options, multiple choices. And it's about listening and speaking with intelligence, speaking with love. We need love in the world. We need to love each other and have compassion for one another and what we're all experiencing at this time. Now, because it's a full moons bring things to completions, and eclipses complete things and begin things. What is the one important decision you're making at this time? For many of you, you're making important decisions. But there's one in particular that you're going to be making that's about expanding your horizons, moving you in a new direction. And that's exciting because you can always be moving up. You can always be taking action that brings you to where you want to be. Now, Mercury is going to go retrograde. Like, we need anything else thrown in here. June 18th through July 12th. And he is in Cancer, which is emotional. And in the retrograde, we want to be, paying attention to communication, because we can misunderstand something. We can say something and think we're being heard, and people can hear it another way. So this is another item thrown into the mix. This is another planet being thrown into the mix here that can be challenging. So I think, one of the most important things we can do is to stay grounded. Stay grounded. Do what grounds you. Listen to your intuition. Listen to your gut instinct. Don't go chasing after unrealistic goals. Don't go chasing after wishful thinking and planning. Be practical. Yes, be inspired, but also be practical in what you're doing. Because this is an energy where you can really be inspired and think you're onto something. Come to find out, it's not at all what you thought it was. This is an energy that is wonderful for creativity and being inspired to apply creative solutions to the challenges you're experiencing, but being patient in the process, because it's not always going to be this intense. It's not always going to be this challenging. But things do need to change, and they can't go on as they've been. And that's why it is an opportunity for all of us to join together and support each other, because we're all in this together. And it's about all of us rising up together. Sagittarius is about all of us. It is about all of us being inspired. It's about all of us moving up and being in our fullest potential, attaining our fullest potential. And, T-squares are not necessarily a negative, they're not negative. I just want to reiterate that again, that we have to have challenging aspects to get anything done. Otherwise, we would just, be in Margaritaville. And, because we do love the sextiles and the trines. However, they don't necessarily compel us to action, whereas a T-square will compel us to action. The challenge is we want to be proactive and not negative and violent. Mars is the warrior, and he is very active here in June, and he's going to be active at the Cancer new moon as well. And so we want to use our energy, drive, passion, Mars, to be proactive and focused on solutions, not acting out in negative ways and just being fed up and frustrated. We want to rein that in, have compassion for self, have compassion for others, and stay positive and do what's right for you and what empowers you and makes you feel good. Move in that new direction. Move in a direction that's going to uplift you and inspire you and bring you to new horizons, as well as let go and release what no longer serves you, what no longer holds value for you. If something doesn't hold value for you anymore, you don't need it. It's not where you're going. So as we are approaching summer here, and the days are getting longer and warmer. It's so important to get outside. It's so important to get outdoors and get in the sun, get that good vitamin D, and just let the wind blow and cleanse you, and the water cleanse you. You'll feel better and brighter, and that will empower you to see your life in the grand vision of what the universe holds for you. The universe wants you to be successful. The universe wants you to be abundant. The more abundant you are, the more people you can help. The more successful you are, the more you lift others up. And that's what it's about. All of us rising up together, inspired, empowered, successful,